We're going to talk to Grant now. Grant, who's calling in from Canada. Grant, you're live on Truth Wanted. It's not Truth Wanted. Oh my God, it's Talk Heathen. I did it. I did the thing. I did.
You did.
I did the wrong show. Oh no. Yeah. Oh no. Anyway,
you're just sneakily advertising your own show.
I did it. Took long enough. Grant, how are you doing?
How's it going, fellas? Good.
Doing good.
So, what exactly is the topic today? I want to prove to you that the Bible is true. Is that the kind of the genre?
Good
yeah,
luck.
Yeah, that's we love calls like that. Please try to tell us how the Bible is true. And what do you mean by the Bible? I'm assuming you mean like the Protestant Bible. Do you have a specific version?
Well, the King James 1611 is the way to go.
Okay.
However, if you look at all the other Bibles, they're just versions of the 1611. And what's important about the Bible to understand it so that you can see that it's true is that it's the words that you are looking at are two different. Every word has many versions, right?
Yes.
Or context. So so there's the vulgar version and the proper version. And we are reading the Bible in the vulgar version. If we were to read it in the proper version, you would understand that the Bible is all about his last will and testament. And so he gave us all the land of earth and all the creepy crawly things and the resources of the land. And so basically that's a right. And so, because that's a birthright, he gave that to all us humans. So in order to have a birthright, you have to have a title. So what's our title?
Can you get to the evidence?
Yeah.
Can you get to the evidence?
Well, I'm about to tell you right now. The evidence of God's birthright is your given name and your last name.
Well,
your given name is your title to freedom.
Wait a minute.
That's what.
So what about?
Wait.
So there are societies where there's no given and family name, right? Where there's only a given name and no family name. You know, there are societies where there is a given name and it's not a family name, but sometimes it's a. In some parts of the society, it is their job name or something else, but it is not necessarily a given and a family name. You know, there are societies like that on this planet, right?
Where?
Early pre-modern Japan. Anybody whose last name
Jesus
is Smith.
A last name either, right? Like, the characters in the Bible themselves did not have two names.
Well, yeah. That all changed. Okay, like, so if you read in the Bible, for instance, Israel, Jacob wrestled with God, and then when he wrestling with him,
he changed his name. So what? That doesn't change my point. There's still other people in the Bible that don't have last names.
Surname
Eve, Cain,
pardon me?
Yeah, there's lots of other people in the Bible that don't have, and look, the Bible isn't the only book that contains history. I will admit it does contain some history, right? But there's older records of history besides the Bible, and they contain the names of people, and a lot of them don't have last names.
Well, no, they didn't have last names. That's right. They had their first name, and they were called, for instance, the Queen of England. Her name is Elizabeth Mary of the House of Windsor. Right? Okay. So people.
Right, but there's also mononyms too. People, you know what a mononym is? It's just a single name. There's people in societies that have single names.
Right. And some of those single names are things like Thor, Odin's son. I kind of sort of made that one up off of that. But, Norse societies, it was your first name and then who you were the son or the daughter of. No real last name. Sometimes they added a place name like the village they were from and things like that and things that they were known for. The Japanese have, not only do the Japanese, especially the lower classes, have single names, if I remember correctly, but they would also change their name based on various events in their life. They would change their entire name, so their family name wasn't even their family anymore. So I don't see how this is evidence of anything.
Yeah, that's another thing too.
Based on the Roman nomenclature, and your first name. If you look up the fundamentals of the nomenclature, like
Are you?
I'm
sorry, Grant. Could you address my comments about
Grant? Let people have first and last names, so they have first names and given names. What does that have to do with the Bible being true at all? Seriously, what does that have to do with anything?
It has to do with those are your titles of your right to what God's promised to you.
What do you mean? What does that mean, Grant? I don't understand. Because we have first and last names, therefore the Bible, that doesn't follow. No, you're talking about you're talking about birthrights. You're talking about God granting. This conversation started with the Bible.
The Bible is all about your birthrights throughout every.
There's some stories, but I don't know if every story is about birthrights. I don't think Habakkuk is about birthrights. I don't think yeah, there's some Old Testament stories involving birthrights if you're talking about the sons of Jacob and stuff like that. But I don't know if I follow this. This is weird.
Yeah. So people whose name are Smith are given Smithies. Is that what you're saying?
I don't know.
Well, no, I can, if you go into heraldry, if you look at a family crest, there's certain symbols in there. Those symbols,
not everybody has a.
They're all different little symbols.
You know nothing about heraldry.
I think you're looking at a very Western-centric version of the world, my friend, because, again, yeah, we have a tradition from...
No, here's the problem. The heraldry was not given to us by any royal family or anything. That heraldry comes down from the Bible. I can show
what?
Wow.
What hair?
My last name descends from the tribe of Asher, which is the son.
Are you saying every person's last name comes from the Bible, or comes from
Well, we all come down from Noah, right?
So every person's last name comes from Noah?
Yeah. Well, they're the three tribes of Ham and Japheth and Shem. Right?
So
I'm claiming I come down through the tribe.
The Aboriginals peoples,
Semitic people.
Oh my God! Whoa! This is. Man, okay, I'm sorry. I don't mean to laugh at you, Grant, but I think
I know everybody has a problem with this because they don't truly understand.
Yes, because we have a problem with it because it's wrong. I think you need to have conversations less with call-in show hosts and more with anthropologists, Grant. I think this is a very Western-centric version of the world. I think this is an incredibly ignorant version of events of human history.
Yeah. So first of all, not everybody
does not revolve around the Bible and the stories therein with it. Okay.
Right.
There's lots of people with different cultures and faiths, but also their own histories, and you've single-handedly erased it with a single stroke by coming up with this story that you've concocted that isn't backed up by anything. This is just your opinion. Let's be honest. Where is this coming from? The Bible doesn't talk about this. The Bible has stories of birthrights. It does not say our last names come from yada, yada, whatever. Jim and I have both read the Bible. Okay, we're not fools. You can't just tell us this. This is really aggravating. I'll be honest, Grant. This isn't a good look.
This is just wrong on so many levels, Grant. First of all, Noah... The flood just could not have happened, and we'll just leave it with the heat problem, which is something that Answers in Genesis agrees they have a problem and can't explain yet. And the heat problem is that no matter how you work the flood, you generate so much heat that you would destroy the planet. That's the first problem with the flood. We can pretty much leave it out as anything that actually happened. Second of all, if you want to say everybody comes back from those three lines, then you've got to realize also that where does I just Googled Japanese last names for the giggles of it. Where does Takahashi come from? And how do you trace that back to anything in the Bible, given that this is Japan. You just can't substantiate these claims that you're making at all with these last names, because like I asked, does that mean they get Smithies? There's an awful lot of Smiths. What about Johnson? Johnson is literally the son of John. So what do they get? And then you got the Norse, who also do the son of, daughter of thing as well. And some of those people have kept their last name through multiple generations. So they're no longer the son of that. They may be the great son of that person, but they've kept those names. And what about people with place names, right? Who took, Joseph of Arimathea is a place name. It's a Joseph of some place. So what do you do with those names? And then people just kept the name of the town they were from, and when they moved away because it was easier. When it comes to names, you've got so much research to do to find out that you aren't even wrong, because you can't possibly be anywhere near the galaxy of being right. I'm sorry. It doesn't work. Really do some more research and get out of the Bible. Yeah. Get completely out of the Bible for this, because that's where you need to go.
Yep. So we've given quite a lot of thoughts on this, Grant. Any rebuttal here? Because otherwise we're going to have to move on.
Honestly, you guys haven't learned anything from the Bible.
You know what, Grant? I don't think you've learned anything from history class. I'm going to go ahead and leave it right there.
Learned anything?
I haven't learned anything from the Bible. Well, I certainly haven't learned that my last name descends from Noah, a guy who didn't have a last name, funnily enough.
Right.
But hey, whatever, right? Well, we're the ignorant ones here, Jim.
When you're a fictional character, you don't need a first name, right?
Yeah.
Or last name.
Not only is this a whitewashing of history, but it's also it's just a sad look at the world. I mean, you have completely closed yourself off from entire civilizations, right? When you have a view like that, because you've chosen to put your blinders on and look at this one book as the detailed record of everything you need to know from history. And how boring is that? Right? Yeah. How boring is that? And the King James nonsense. I already knew we were going to go down.
Yeah, we were already in trouble when he said King James, the worst translated book, translated version of the Bible there is. The worst.
Yeah. Well, yeah.